Hello everybody, yes, how are we all doing? It is the Freds93 here and welcome back to yet another edition of Football with Fredders, what is usually the weekly football chat and discussion show here on the channel, but as this is been following a developing story, aka the European Super League, the recent developments, you can't just leave it at one video, can you? Especially with what's been happening within the last 24 hours at least. At the time I recorded the video that went out last night, it was on Monday where the thing had only just been announced. In my defense, I probably should have released it then, or at least Tuesday morning, because one or two aspects of it were out of date by the time that video came out. Yes, at that point, Chelsea had pulled out, Manchester City had pulled out after a day of mass protests here in England, and also the the chief executive of Manchester United, Ed Woodward, actually stepped down from his position, assumingly because of some falling out over the whole proposals in the first place. Maybe was he really on board with the whole idea? Probably not, because I imagine Ed Woodward probably would have more of a fan's interest in his head or his heart rather than Joe Glazer. And so now at the point of recording, all the clubs that are involved have dropped out, except of, well, they've confirmed that they've dropped out at least, except for Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus. However, I do not think it will be that much longer before those clubs decide to pull out, especially as the chief of Juventus, who's been sort of like the main chair of this whole league in the first place, has said that without the Premier League clubs, there's no point in this Super League even happening in the first place. And to be honest, the thought, I think, all I'm going to say is good riddance. The thought should not have been there in the first place. There should not have been a way for the top teams in the world to get even more money for themselves. They've bankrolled themselves enough to make some aspects of their own leagues not as entertaining or as thrilling anymore, because they've pretty much got so much money into it. They're bringing the best players in, and so I know it generates a lot in terms of like TV revenue and like merch sales and things like that, but it's got to come at a cost, surely. And also some of the clubs that are involved in that, since when were Arsenal and Tottenham considered sort of big enough for the European Super League? Yes, I know Arsenal had the invincible season in 2004, but they've more or less been going backwards ever since they moved into the Emirates Stadium in 2006. Like, what, 1 or 2 FA Cups? Great. What else have you done? And Tottenham Hotspurs as well. The team that hasn't won anything since 2008, and this is at the point of recording. They haven't played Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final yet, so it could all still change. Probably isn't. Nothing personal with Ryan Mason or anything, who's stepping into interim charge after the sacking of Jose Mourinho, but you are not beating Man City. I don't get why they've sacked Mourinho either. Like, you've going into a cup final against Manchester United, and you've just sacked the guy who's already masterminded 2 wins for you against Guardiola, might I add. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I know they had gone backwards over the last few months, but maybe he should have been given a little bit more time. Anyway, I'm digressing here. The thing with the European Super League as well is that they would have struggled to have got many more of the big clubs anyway, because in Germany, where you have the 50+1 rule, which is where no like private investors or anything like that, with the exception of RB Leipzig of course, no private investors can own any more than 49% of the shares in the club. The fans have to own 50% plus 1 share, which is where the rule 50+1 comes in, of course. If you want me to do a video sort of explaining the 50+1 rule more, let's get this video 5 likes, and then I'll do it for next week's Football with Fredders. I haven't really got much more to say that hasn't already been said on it. These bigger clubs really now should think about how they could potentially support more clubs, sort of like in the lower leagues, in the local communities, like the ones that have been losing out more and more, or going close to extinction, or being extinct altogether completely, because they've lost their main source of income over the last year, which has been match day revenues, like ticket sales, like food, things like that. They should look to try and help those out a bit more. How they could do it, I don't actually know. Maybe they should give a little bit more into the payments that I know the clubs, at least in Leagues 1 and 2, should be doing now. They've got the finances for it. Anyway, that's going to do it for video 2 for this week of Football Threaders. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Do all that usual fun stuff. Leave that like. Remember, 5 likes and I'll discuss the 50+1 rule. Subscribe if you're new, follow social media, follow Twitch, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.